Hello, beautiful humans. Happy Monday if you were watching this on Monday. This is day 4 of the Tempo AMAP program. This is the day that we had on Saturday. So if you attended the live class Saturday, this is a repeat. So if you're one of those people, feel free to reach out to me, and I am happy to make some individual skill work for you, whether it be movement or nutritional or whatever it is that you might be facing challenges with. But with the email that, if you read the email on this, we introduced the topic of allostatic or physiological load, which basically just means, the way I like to describe it, is the overall load your human is on or presented with. And we can receive load from any element of life that you would imagine, whether it be lack of rest and recovery, whether it be eating out of your metabolic diet type, whether it be too much or too little of exercise. So with all of this, the goal is to find balance. It's not to create worry. However, I think awareness is key, and asking questions is key to understanding where you are overloaded. Sometimes it's right under our nose and we don't realize it. It's like we have this slow load that is just getting heavier and heavier on our back, and we have to compromise our other systems in order to combat that load. So, with that being said, regardless of where it's coming from, if you feel overloaded, I would encourage you to take a step back from high density exercise. I'm not saying don't exercise. I'm saying that it would behoove you to just move according to how you feel. Now, sometimes there's something to be said for breaking past that barrier and going into another zone and just exerting yourself. And I think you have the innate wisdom to know if it is time for that or not. But nonetheless, if you are overloaded, take it easy, rest and recover, figure out what's overloading you, ask yourself. Oftentimes you know. So nonetheless, today's program, we have a glute bridge, a ground-based bench press, or a ground-based chest press. And there's multiple ways to approach that. We have a single-sided jump. And we also have an open hip step back, which we've done a lot of. So the ground-based press will be by 8 per side. If you're doing a towel, it will be by 8 per leg. The single-sided jump will be by 8 per arm. I encourage you to get creative with the resistance there. Anything around the house that has any kind of load to it will help. This could be even a book. It doesn't have to be a 50-pound dumbbell, Grace, if you're watching. Also, we have that open hip step back, and I'll demonstrate those 3 for you now. Everything is by 8 per side today, and we're going to go for 5 rounds. So station 1 is our single-sided glute bridge press. So what we're going to do is grab the kettlebell. I'm in dark clothing, so let me open this window and see if I can shed some light on the topic here. So, much better. So we'll pop down, and we're going to rack our kettlebell, our dumbbell, or any other form of resistance that you would like. We're going to sink down to our glute bridge. We're going to bridge up with both and elevate the side that is the same as the weight. So then we'll load up our press. We're going to sink down into the hip. As we sink down into the press, this will be our tempo movement. We'll push up and press up. Release, inhale, exhale, push. We'll have these by 8 per side. One of the things I noticed most on the gym floor with glute bridging in general, when people's feet get on the ground, because our glutes tend to be so disintegrated from our modern life being seated all the time, you notice people's heel wants to come up on their glute bridge. They want to use their toes, and their toes want to grip in. This would indicate a glute dysfunction. So get that whole foot on the ground, create that strong arch that's going to directly have communication with our hip, our glute, and our back, and everything involved to push up and through. Get the whole foot on the ground. So we have those by 8 per side. If we do not have weight, we can simply jump off into our kitchen, grab a towel, and we can do the exact same thing with a towel pull apart. So we would load up, ripping the towel apart the whole time. We're going to sink down into the glute bridge, press up, push through, reset, reset. And we have those by 10 per hip. Station 2 would be our single-sided jump. Again, find any form of resistance that you're comfortable with. We're gonna check in with our core, make sure our rectus abdominis is turned on, make sure our oblique slings and everything is turned on. We're gonna brace the core, sink down, and then come back into that proper landing. And those will be by 8 per side. Today we're trying to land and absorb. You hear me talk about that a lot. We're gonna use the shock absorbing system of our hips to catch that load. Our final station, if you have weight, awesome. If you don't, that's okay too. We're gonna step back into the open hip. So we're kind of stepping open, dropping down, exploding up, pressing through. Stepping open, dropping down, exploding up, pressing through. If you don't have that weight, you can simply just do a really stability-based, rotational-based movement out of this forward hip and reach up with that opposite hand. We have those by 8 per side as well. For our conditioning, so let's take a look here. We have 2 movements. We have an option for one of the movements. Station 1 will be a skater hop. So that's lateral shuffle, really quick, trying to maintain a low center of gravity and trying to maintain that height without bouncing up and down out of our head. We're shifting back and forth as we're kind of looking like we're floating. And those will be by a total of 10. And we either then have 10 push-ups or 5 inchworms. So let's take a look. Our skater hop will have a wide base. We're gonna push off from one side to the next, just like so. If you want to, you can reach down and go for the arch of the foot. These are by 10. We're really using the lateral side of our legs, sides of our glutes to power through that. It's a little different, ab and adduction as we cycle through. Station 2, we're gonna kick into a long push-up. I would encourage the majority of you, unless you feel super comfortable with push-ups and you do them a lot, I would encourage you to go for the knees because we have 12 minutes of this AMAP set. So come for the knee, control down, explode up. For me, I'm really focused on keeping that chin tucked. Again, if you're really good at push-ups, you might just go for the full body. We'll go by 10. If the push-ups aren't for you, if you're already showing an anterior posture and everything's just too daggone tight, let's go to an inchworm for a little more of a recovery movement. We'll hit the hinge back, walk, walk, walk long, come back to the feet, walk, walk, walk long, come back to the feet. We'll do that by 5. If you remember, you might start your inchworm with the opposite hand every time as you cycle through, so it's not right, left, right, left, right, left. So we have the skater hop by 10 total, and then we have the inchworm or the push-up by 5 or 10 for 12 minutes, as many rounds as possible. Enjoy that. Please consider what I said about the physiological load. It's very important to take note as to how your human is feeling. It is constantly giving you signs as to its overall health or cellular health, however you'd like to look at it. So enjoy the day. Peace.